WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
A lot. You can get either a turkey.
I'm black and I'm mad. I'm black and I matter. God created me to be who I am. Oh.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Community Bell Show. It's Monday. So what? It must be the Community Bell Show. We're so glad to have all of you with us this afternoon. The week before, or not the week, a few days before Thanksgiving. We're happy to have you with us this afternoon. Again, it's Monday, it's sunny, and it's a Community Bell Show the Monday before Thanksgiving. Hello, hello, hello. We have a very special guest today. We have the Honorable Alicia Bell, who happens to be the chairperson of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. Wayne County, just so that you know how big it is, it's the 19th largest county in the nation, the largest county in Michigan, but the 19th largest county in the nation. And if you know how many counties we have in the nation, we have thousands of counties in the nation. Wayne County is the 19th largest, and it happens to be chaired by the Honorable Alicia Bell, who is going to talk to us today about what's going on in the county. There are lots of things going on, and she's going to come on a regular basis, maybe once a quarter, to talk to us about what's going on, give us a Wayne County update. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is what happens this past Friday. Welcome, Commissioner Bell. You're on mute. Unmute yourself. No. We can't hear you. You're going to have to talk really, really loud. Okay. I can hear you just a little bit. That's not a lot better, but it's showing that you're on mute. Take it off mute. You're having some issues. You're having an issue here. Technical difficulties. I'm not sure what the technical difficulty is, but she's going to go out and she's going to come back in and see if that will work. But in the meantime, let's talk about this being a holiday weekend, Thanksgiving, one of the biggest holidays of the year. And there have been many organizations that have provided food to those persons who might have difficulty in providing holiday meals for their families. One of them is Cody Rouge, and I happen to be a member of the Cody Rouge organization and helped them out this morning, prepare boxes and give food to probably about 250 families this morning. Cody Rouge has the executive director. Her name is Kenyatta Campbell. She did a wonderful job, just an absolutely wonderful job of organizing and delivering those baskets as people drove by. You could get either a ham or you could get a turkey. You could had all the fixed sides to go with it. You had your dressing make. Cranberry sauce and macaroni and celery and collard greens, Jiffy corn mix, and on top of that, for dessert, an apple pie. How about
Ooh, can you hear me now?
Great time this morning to help the community, provide food to the community, provide food to those who might not have been able to do it themselves. And on Saturday, the commissioner had a turkey and Thanksgiving giveaway. Tell us about the one you had on Saturday, Commissioner Bell.
Great. Good afternoon. Hope you can hear me now.
We can hear you. Wonderful.
Okay, wonderful. So this Saturday, CNS Healthcare, their behavioral health company, they sponsored a turkey drive.
How about that? And she just froze. Amazing. But CNS, as she indicated, had a turkey drive this morning. Not this morning, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. And it was at Joy in Greenfield, and it was wonderful. We had over 850 turkeys. The sheriff's office came by.
And you froze up again, Madam Commissioner. You're having technical difficulties. Well, as she was saying, the sheriff's office came by.
The sheriff's office came by. They were a co-sponsor of the event. Jack and Jill Motor City chapter. We provide the fixins. So the young people went shopping with their parents and bought Jiffy corn mix and the vegetables and yams and stuffing and cranberry sauce. And the kids gave out the fixins, and the CNS Healthcare gave out the turkeys. So it was really great. We had 850 turkeys, and
Wow.
we provided about 300 sides for those. So it was very cold. We're outside at
Yeah,
9 o'clock in the morning, but it was a good day, and the children enjoyed it, and they got an opportunity to see how it is to really give back for Thanksgiving. And that's what it's about, showing them that the importance of giving back. So it was great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you for that. And there are also all sorts of giveaways. I think Mary Sheffield, president of Detroit City Council, has one today, either today or tomorrow. Uh,
Hers was yesterday, I think.
Yesterday, Sunday. Okay, had one yesterday. So lots of people in the community giving back, trying to support community people. And that's what it's all about. And we appreciate that very, very, very much. Commissioner Bell, uh, the other thing that went on recently is this past Friday, there was something called a Tri-County Summit. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yes, so Friday we had the Tri-County Summit. This is our second consecutive years for the reboot. It had been done previously, but about 2 years ago, when I became chair, Dave Woodward from Oakland County and Don Brown from Macomb County, we started it back up. And the first one was last year, and we were in Macomb County, and we were just talking generally about infrastructure. This year, we narrowed it down and had a great conversation about broadband and internet, as well as water infrastructure, and what the three counties can do collectively to help that with our residents. So, as we talk about with water, water doesn't know when you get to 8 miles to stop flowing. It flows no matter where you are. You're flowing through Macomb, Wayne, and Oakland. So our water infrastructure panel was very good. Just talking about the things that we're going to work on in the first.
And we'll just continue to talk about that as
Governor about with with our broadband and with our water. And then we had a great panel for the broadband piece. A gentleman, I tried to get him on for today, Jason Dixon. He is spearheading an effort in Inkster to make it a training hub and to make it something I've never heard of, an all access city where everyone can have access to broadband and the internet in that city. And they have training programs for the young men and women to learn how to install the wire. So they're doing some great things, and we're going to assist him with the county level to make that a model throughout the county and the state on what
so
you
let
can
me
do in a small city.
ask a question about when you say all access, what do you really mean? Is it
Uh,
free?
it won't be free, but every household will have it. So it will have the wires, the underground wires can have it. And in some cases, I think it is free in other parts of the country where they have this kind of technology. So it's a good something that you should maybe have Mr. Dixon on to further explain. But he's spearheading this. They took the old Inkster City Hall, and that's going to be the hub for training.
Okay.
And they just signed that deal last week. So really trying to get broadband to as many households as possible and have all of the providers kind of sign on to make it as affordable as possible.
Okay. Well, that is one of the topics that came up, especially during COVID, that there were communities who did not have full access to the internet. And when they started talking about children being home and accessing internet, that became a major issue. How are they trying to fix that, or has it been fixed?
Well, actually, this so happened on Friday. A map came out that the federal government kind of commissioned a mapping map to see whose households or where the households are in a certain region that has it, has internet, and those that do not have internet. So what we're going to do at Wayne County, outside Detroit, because Detroit's doing their own program with making all Detroit accessible with broadband. We're going to do a survey to see who or what households, what cities in Wayne County do and don't have it. Then based upon that, we'll be able to have our infrastructure put in place with the wires and the fiber so that we can get to all households. And then that won't be an issue. Either you'll be wired, so all you have to do is just have a company to activate you. And
Oh,
some of the companies will be free, depending
that's
on your income.
wonderful.
Mhm.
Wonderful. So broadband has gotten to be a real big issue because it's not, it goes back to the days when radio, you turn your plug your radio in, turn it on, and it worked.
Right,
And
right.
you plug your TV in, turn it on, and it worked, and you could get whatever.
Hmm.
That is not the case anymore. You can turn your TV on and plug it in, but if you don't have cable, you don't get anything.
Right, right, right. Or a good antenna.
Should not be. I mean, you still ought to be able to get basic channels. Am I correct in that?
If you have an antenna, you can get some basic channels. But you can't get the fancy channels if you don't have internet. So you
Okay.
can still get like 247. Some of
Okay.
those.
We was the 247. What was 247 and 62 channels we used to get?
Right, right. So you
Without
can still
paying,
get those with an antenna, but if you
but
want to get, CNN or MSNBC or any of those stations, then you have to have cable to do that. So,
wow.
but we're
And
working towards making sure that, like I said, if every household just have the underground wires in, that you just turn on and you can have broadband and internet, and then working out of deals with the AT&Ts and Comcast of the world to figure out what that service looks like to pay for it. I mean, that's the next step. We want to just make sure every household is wired, and that's what we're going to attempt to do over the next year with our Tri-County Summit.
okay, okay. Um, Going back to something you mentioned earlier, and that is water. Uh, no, Macomb County just had a big water tank break back in the
Mhm.
summer, I want to say. Um, do you know, based on that increased the water bills for that community?
I don't know. We didn't talk about that too much. What we're really trying to get into is acknowledging the fact that the infrastructure is old
Yeah.
throughout the state of Michigan and throughout all the counties. And I guess the question that they said was, we know how to fix it. We just need billions and billions of dollars. But since we don't have billions and billions of dollars, we're going to have to kind of go one step at a time to look at the infrastructure and then work on that. We did have the director of the Great Lakes Water Authority to speak, and she spoke about, she's the executive director, and she spoke about some economic development opportunities with the Great Lakes Water Authority, and how there's opportunities for businesses to come in and do different parts of their business model. So water and the infrastructure, both with broadband and the water, is very important going forward. You saw the floods we had a couple of years ago, and that's not even infrastructure, that is climate change, which is another big issue, that we're having these 100-year storms more
And
quickly.
there are those people who believe that there's climate issues. How
Right,
about that?
right, but there are. Yeah.
There definitely
So,
are.
so what we have to do is be prepared when we do have those 100-year storms, every other year, and be prepared with our pumps, and making sure that we upgrade our pumps. In the Wayne County, we've upgraded several of our pumps, and we've allocated money to upgrade our pump so that it can pump more water more quickly. But again, if you have 10 inches of rain fall in an hour, I mean, there's no pump that can address that. So we have to understand our water infrastructure, but also understand climate change and what that's doing to our earth and our city and state and county, and us trying to be as prepared as possible to combat those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now you talked about broadband and we talked about water. What other subjects did you talk about at the Tri-County Summit?
Those were the two that we mainly had deep dives into. We did have the executive director for the Michigan Association of Counties come on
Mhm.
speak about what's going to happen the next in this current session and into the next session. So of course the Republicans are in lame duck, and they thought they were going to try to get a lot of things passed, but it looks like they are probably not going to do that, per our sources with the Michigan Association of Counties. And then next year, we'll have the House and the Senate with Democratic leadership. So there's so many things that Democrats have been trying to get put forward. You know, they've been stuck in
Mhm.
committee for the last 30 years. So there are a lot of different initiatives and bills that are going to be coming through both the House and the Senate. One of them, this is a great opportunity to repeal the pension tax. You know, a few years ago, the tax on pensions went through.
Yes, that people there were a lot of us who will be happy.
Yes.
Happy
So,
about that. And for those of you who don't know what she's talking about, it has been almost 30 years, hasn't it? 10, at least 20, 10, 20, 25 years since the Republican led House and Senate. And at the time, there was a governor who was also Republican, pushed through a tax on retirees' pensions. Now, mind you, we'd already paid my taxes on that money when we were working.
mm-hmm,
They pushed through a
mm-hmm,
secondary tax on retirees' pensions. And so that is what the commissioner is talking about. That will be a big push come next year, 2023, when the Democrats take over the House, the Senate, and the governor's office.
right.
They will be able to repeal that tax on pensioners, which will make a lot of retirees very, very happy. Very,
Very happy. Yes, yes.
very.
So that I think that's one big thing on their plate, and even to repeal the right to work law that was
That's the
established
other.
under Republican control.
Yes, yes. And talk about what right to work is. Some people may not know what right to work is. Talk about what that really means.
Well, it says right to work, but what it is anti-union. So, you know, Michigan, Wayne County, Detroit being the home of the UAW,
Mhm.
and the right to organize, they limited the ability for people to organize and for labor unions to come about in the workplace. So they called it right to work, but was like really the not right to work.
Exactly. And what it said is that in the past, typically, if you worked at Ford Motor Company and there's a union, you had to join the union. Well, what they said is, no, you can work anywhere you want. You don't have to join the union.
Yep,
And
it
you,
was
don't, and
optional.
you still get the same benefits as the people who are paying union dues.
Right, right,
That
right,
is
right.
obviously crazy. So
So
that's
I'm looking.
when law, that will be a wonderful thing, an absolutely wonderful thing. We just would be real happy about that. And since we haven't been on since the election, for those of you who don't know, for the first time in over 30 years, the state of Michigan will have a Democratic governor, a Democratic secretary of state, a Democratic attorney general, a Democratic House of Representatives, and a Democratic Senate. That hasn't happened in over 30 years. That will be absolutely great for the citizens of Detroit, everyday people, the citizens of this entire state, everyday people. Because what it means is that the minority and the people who did this were they, even though they were a majority in those locations, they were a minority in the state.
Right.
And they made laws to benefit people who are rich as
Mhm.
opposed to everyday people. And so this will be an opportunity for us to really change some of those things that they did. And so we're really, really excited about that.
For the
And
first time, you have a black person, a black man, black person who happens to be a man. Joe Tate is the leader
yes,
of the House. He's the
that's
Speaker of the
wonderful.
House.
Just going to say that. Wonderful. Joe Tate, a Democrat and a black man. First time. He
Mhm.
will be the leader of the House. How about the Senate?
And then Winnie, first time a woman is going to lead the Senate. So it is some wonderful things going on in the Michigan legislature, and I look forward to seeing what laws they're going to pass, what ideas they're going to have, and just moving a lot of issues forward that are important to the people of Southeast Michigan and especially Wayne County.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that Democrats will have the chairpersonships of all of the committees.
All the committees, yes.
It-
Appropriations, which is big. Yes, yes, yes. How to spend the money is this is they're so excited.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and our own Commissioner Joey Palomera, they asked him to go into up to address the 60 new legislatures that were in orientation last week.
Really?
So Joey had an opportunity to talk to all the new legislatures and talk about, how wonderful of an opportunity this is for them to really work on behalf of the working people of Michigan. So that was an honor for him to be there as a former state rep himself. And then he's the vice chair of the Wayne County Commission. So that was an honor for him to go up there and talk to those 60 new state reps and state senators.
That is just incredible. And that is as a result of redistricting.
Yes.
Redistricting is the reason. Now, I've got two hats as it relates to that.
Absolutely.
Democrats made out really, really well in redistricting.
Yes, but
African Americans in Wayne County and Detroit
really, really bad.
do well. Did not do well at all. And so, I'm 50-50 on that one. Glad the Democrats did well, but my concern, and not my concern, in my opinion, they threw black folks under the bus. I should not. I'm just saying. So,
no, that's absolutely true. We have diluted our African American representative in the House and the Senate now.
Yes.
We have no black men in the Senate. We have, I want to say, 2 in the House. 2 black men in the House. A lot of our reps are Detroit and Livonia, Detroit and Ferndale Oak Park, Detroit and Downriver, where we used to have solely Detroit seats. So yeah, it did not bid well for Detroit and black leadership.
Absolutely. And I don't care what anybody says, there's nothing like having somebody who looks like you tell your story.
Right.
And think of Detroit being the largest black city, the blackest city in the country.
Right.
And the largest in Michigan. And for us to not have any representation, or not to have the kind of representation we should have, is, in my opinion, a criminal. And so I won't get on my soapbox with that, but that really, 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 really bothers me. So we can get back to Wayne County now as I get off my soapbox about that.
We're going to have to see what happens in the next census. I mean, if our census numbers continue to decline, our representation at the House and the Senate will also decline. So I'm really scared about the next census is going to look like when the lines are redrawn again.
Well, yes, but I think what we have to really work on is getting people to be counted. I still maintain that the number of people counted was not accurate.
Yeah. I think they've had 60,000, I believe.
Yes. The number of people counted for Detroit and Wayne County and in African American communities and communities of color, just communities of color in general, is not accurate.
So we don't get those right numbers. We're going to continue to go down a slippery slope.
Yep. And then I started talking about this before the last census. I guess I need to start talking now 10 years before this, so we can start making sure we get the right numbers and get people counted and make sure people are counted and people fear being counted, I should say. And I think that's what the issue is.
Right.
People are afraid that if they fill out that form, somebody's going to know and they're going to come and get me for whatever. But that is not the case.
Right.
It's not the case. And so we need to find ways to get to those communities and make sure that those people understand it's important they fill out those forms, because it's important for healthcare, for education, for roads, all of that.
Absolutely. And getting that message out now for the next one in 10 years from now. Don't take that long to get it through people's heads. It's okay.
Yes, we've got to find ways to do that. I'm not sure what that is, but we've got to find a way to do that. Let me talk about something else now that I'm very proud of. My granddaughter, Miss Morgan Young, has been accepted into the Wayne State University Mike Ilitch School of Business program. She with Cass Tech. So those young people will have a dual enrollment. They will be students at Cass Tech, but they will also be students at the Mike Ilitch School of Business at Wayne State University and get credits. I think that's fantastic for those young people to have that opportunity. And I salute the principal, Ms. Phillips, and Wayne State and the School of Business for doing that. It's an incredible opportunity for those. They can do it 9th, 10th, 11th grade. My granddaughter Morgan is in the 9th grade, so she'll have a long time to be able to glean all the knowledge from the business community that can get from dual at Wayne State University School of Business and with Mike Ilitch School of Business and Cass Tech business program. That is wonderful.
Yeah, she's excited. It starts in January. The goal is to have college credit when she graduates high school, so she could possibly even skip freshman year at college because she would have had the college credits that she received from Wayne State. So it's very exciting. She's excited, and we can't wait to start this program. So yeah, and they had a program with Wayne County Community College, but that one kind of faded away. Now they entered into a new one with Wayne State, and it's a great opportunity, especially since it's right across the street practically from the school.
Yes, they can walk 2 blocks down the street and be there.
Yeah, and there's a beautiful new facility. So I'm excited about. I think 30 children were, I believe, maybe chosen to go for this program. Maybe a few more, but it was a small number. They wanted to keep it, kind of small. But we're excited to have her in this program, and she's excited as well.
That is absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. And report cards were given out. Was it last week report card marking or the week before?
Top of November.
Okay, everybody, parents, report cards. I know you all know that. Check it out. Make sure that you check out the kids' report cards. Sometimes they don't tell you, parents, when the report cards are coming. But you need to know as a parent what is going on with your child's report card and attendance. It is important that you keep track of it.
Yep, and then I think the quarter will end, I believe, in January. So in January we'll have the first quarter. I'm sorry, the first half, the first semester will end. The first semester will end, and we look forward to them both doing well for this first semester. Cranston in the 10th grade and Morgan in the 9th grade. So Morgan 4.0 her first quarter. Cranston had a 3.4, I believe, his first quarter. So they're doing well, and we expect great things from them.
Absolutely. I'm just excited about all the things that they are getting involved in. My oldest grandchild, Grant Johnson, just inducted into the National Honor Society last Friday. That was a wonderful ceremony. There were 98 young people from Cass Tech who were inducted into the National Honor Society, and Grant was one of them. And he just got this letter from the state superintendent, Board of Education, saying that he did so well on his PSATs, that's a pre-SAT, that he should be taking, what do they call them? College courses or AP? What is it?
Courses, AP,
yeah. Advanced placement. Thank you. Placement courses at Cass Tech. And so we're just pleased with all of my 3 grandchildren are wonderful. Of course, grandparents always think they're wonderful. So you've heard me talk about my grandbabies before. So you'll hear me again. They're all wonderful. They're all doing well. And thank you, Larry Whitfield. And Larry says, congratulations to my babies. Teresa Acton says, thank you and congratulations. A clan clap. Roy Matson, thank you for my grandbabies. They're wonderful. Grandparents always think their kids are wonderful, but mine just happen to be. I'm just thrilled that they are doing well. And I think we need to encourage our young people and make them know how great they are. Because sometimes people don't recognize how great our young people are. They are incredible. They can do all sorts of wonderful things. We just need to make sure that we encourage them and give them the tools to succeed. And once they do that, they will soar. They'll be off and running, and we will say, wait a minute, slow down, let me catch up. But they will be off and running, and so we just need to encourage them and tell them how wonderful they are and keep it moving. I'm just real pleased with my.
Our young people are doing wonderful, but I think it's important that young people do wonderful throughout the region. So just a couple of weeks ago, we spent and allocated some of our ARPA funding finally. We received $339 million in American Rescue Plan Act, and we were finally able to start that spend. So we were able to allocate $500,000 to the Boys and Girls Club for a
Oh,
workforce development to help those children out. So that is awesome. And we have a $50 million going to Simca for workforce development, for reentry, to help people get back into the workplace. We spent $100 million at that last board meeting to make sure that we're helping the people affected by COVID. So with the Simca contract for $50 million, that will help our returning citizens. That will help people changing careers. And then we have several small grants that we were able to allocate to different municipalities throughout the county, with $500,000 going to the Boys and Girls Club, 20 million going to Motown. Oh, I keep saying 20 million for Motown. Is $2.5 million for Motown Museum, but $20 million to the Joe Louis Greenway. And that Joe Louis Greenway is going to go Dearborn, Detroit, Hamtramck, Highland Park. Is going to be something awesome when they're done with it. We had the ribbon cutting a couple of weeks ago, and Joe Louis's daughter and granddaughter flew in from Las Vegas to
oh wow.
participate in that ribbon, and that was awesome. So that $20 million is going. You can already see it taking shape between Joy and Warren, and you can ride your bike now. The neighbors are thrilled to have a place where they can go out, because a lot of our money we decided to spend on open spaces and green spaces, because during COVID, what could we do? The only thing we could do was go outside. Make sure that we have walkable, bikeable trails that we can go outside and get healthy and stay healthy. So we're doing a lot of great things with our ARPA dollars. We still have about 200 million more to spend, but we got this first $100 million out a couple of weeks ago.
That is wonderful. And for those of you who have not gone by the Joe Louis Greenway, it really is it's such a great spot. It's you get to it, you're at Joy Road, and is it Green Lawn?
Green Line. Mm-hmm.
Joy Road and Green Lawn. It's got a shed there, so if you want to sit there and just sit for a minute under the shed, but there are bike paths and walk paths, and it really is quite a wonderful, wonderful spot for our communities. And it starts at Joy Road and goes down to it's going to go to Warren,
and it goes south from there, north from Warren.
North from Warren, okay, and it will connect communities. It will connect the Detroit community with Dearborn and Livonia and Hamtramck and the downtown area, and you could literally take a bike ride through all of those communities and never leave the Joe Louis Greenway.
It's so exciting! I can't wait to get out there. It looks good. I
Yeah.
passed it today. It's looking wonderful. Again, the neighbors are so excited. And what we did was we kind of fashioned it after a park system in Atlanta. I went down with some Detroit employees and county employees earlier this year to look at their trail system, and it was amazing what they've done with their walkway and their greenway. They have a lot of commerce off of it. So at one portion of it, they have a artist building where they have artists and different markets that they have on the weekend. And then one side of it is like a big warehouse with tons of different types of food and, again, retail shops. So you get on that trail and you can stop at these different businesses. So it's the Greenway is walkable, and it's also economic development, because those businesses come because of the Greenway.
Oh, that is great. And that would be so great for people. We've got to think about doing that. Is that what the county is going to look at doing also? Maybe we can have pop-up businesses along the Greenway at different times.
Because it's going to be prime for all of that. Our little $20 million is going to help tremendously, but there's money from the city, the state, and the feds, as well as the county, to make that happen. But yeah, the economic development is certainly going to be part of that whole project.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club received $50 million.
500,000.
$500,000. Okay. So maybe we'll have someone from the Boys and Girls Club come on in the next couple of months to talk about the Boys and Girls Club and what their expectation is for that $500,000 that they got from the ARPA funds.
Yes, that Sean Wilson, who's the executive director, president, would love to come on and speak about that. What they're doing now, they're kind of changing from just going in and playing ball. They're making it more comprehensive and teaching children skill sets in the industry. So they have a design industry club, they have a film industry club, so different industry clubs to get children a sense of what it is to work in a certain area that sparks their interest. They may want to do that once they become a grown-up. So it's they have wonderful industry clubs. He would love to talk to you about that.
Oh, that would be great. We'll make sure that we get him on maybe the top of the year to talk about what their plans are for the young people at the Boys and Girls Club, because I know we have several in the area, and I'm sure our parents need to know that those clubs exist, because they can take their children there and get their children involved in lots of activities and learning activities that will take them through their future.
It's a wonderful, wonderful program. They're kind of reimagining the way the clubs are run now. So it's have Sean, Big Sean has a studio in a couple of the clubs, so kids can go in there and try rapping or singing or whatever their musical talents are. So they're doing a lot of great things.
Oh, how wonderful! That's
Yes.
great. That's so excited that we're able to put that money to the kind of use that's going to benefit everybody in the community.
Yes.
And not just, sometimes money goes down. I'm just glad to see it going out into the communities. Everyday people have access to the kinds of things that money will bring to them. That is really that's a great piece.
Yes, it is. And then, of course, you have Motown Museum and our little portion for that, the 2.5 million towards that. That's going to be an awesome project too when it's complete. So there's a lot of great things. I think in 2024, a transformation of so much here in the city.
Absolutely. And the Motown Museum, I've not been to, I pass it often, but I've not seen the rebirth of it yet. So I'm looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, Barry Gordy just celebrated his 80th birthday or 82nd birthday sometime in the last couple of days.
90th birthday.
Was it 90? Okay, 90, not 80. Okay. So I'm just, and Larry Whitfield says that his daughters went to the Boys and Girls Club on Collingwood. That is one of that has a very special place in my heart, that Boys and Girls Club on Collingwood, because when my daughters and many of their friends were younger adults, we started a Young Detroit Optimist Club there. And they adopted that Boys and Girls Club back in the 90s.
Yes.
Early 90s, mid 90s. And so they had their meetings there, and a lot of the young people who were part of that Young Detroit Optimist Club, is that what we called it?
The Metro Detroit Optimist Club.
Metro Detroit Optimist Club. Thank you. A lot of those young folk have gone on to do wonderful things. Of course, Alicia Bell is now the chair of the county commission. Bill McConicle is the chief judge of the 36th District Court. Brian Love now works with an educational opportunity to provide educational opportunities for all children around the state and the country. And so lots of those young people have gone on to do wonderful things. And so we're just real pleased and have a special part in our heart, the Boys and Girls Club on Collingwood. Really, really, really special. Really special. We appreciate that. Well, Commissioner Bell, any closing remarks?
No, we just look forward to the additional $200 million to benefit the residents of Wayne County. Contracts should be coming before us in the next 45 days or so. So we really want to just focus on being a benefit, because these are transformational dollars and we will never get this lump sum of money again. And we want to make sure that it's impactful. So watch out for
contracts are coming before you. How do people know what those contracts are and how they can get involved with bidding on a contract? How does that happen?
What we're doing is, because the city of Detroit received $900 million almost. So they're doing their thing with the city of Detroit. So what happens is the other municipalities in Wayne County got maybe 100,000 here, 200,000 there. So a lot of the municipalities are coming to us and asking us if we could match money so that they can have programs and projects that they started or wanted to have but didn't have the funding to complete. So a lot of it is going to from the municipalities are requesting the funds for projects that they had in the pipeline that they can now complete.
Okay, so there's not an opportunity for others now to get involved. Too late. Okay. Just
Well, you know.
just wondered. Okay. Thank you so much for being on and sharing information with us, and we'll have you back maybe sometime in the first quarter of next year to talk about those projects that the other municipalities are doing in Wayne County, and maybe we can get your two colleagues from Oakland County and Macomb County to come on with you to talk about what's going on in those counties as relates to helping communities be better and get the kinds of things that community people want. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Community Bell Show. We'll see you next week. It'll be the Monday after Thanksgiving, the last Monday in November. Oh, my goodness, which means that Christmas will be right around the corner. Get ready, get ready, get ready. And as we usually do, and end our show with our quote from Dr. Martin Luther King that says, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great. Greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love." Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Don't eat too much, and back here next Monday at 4:00. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, are you in need of a jingle, a commercial, or have you considered a podcast for your business or ministry? If so, let WVTC Radio Detroit be your choice. And guess what? Location is not a problem. We can pick you up and broadcast you from anywhere. For more information, please go to our website at WVTCDetroit.com or drop us an email at WVTCRadioDetroit@gmail.com. We're waiting to hear from you.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.